Welcome back, everybody. Clash and Conferences podcast. We got one more week left in the regular season.
Can't
Quick
believe it.
recap of it's flown by here this year. Quick recap of week 17. We only had, for the second week in a row, we only had one winner out of the whole division. So this week that was Dallas beating Detroit by 1 point, 20-19. We had
Didn't
the
cover
Eagles.
the spread though.
No, they did not. We had the Eagles going down to the Cardinals, 31-35 in a surprise upset. We had Washington going down kind of expectedly to the Niners, 10-27. And we had the Giants playing a very tight one, 25-26, and covering that spread against the Rams this week. So
still fighting.
That was our 4 games last week. In the internal competition, we had three categories. The first one was cover the spread, and the only one to cover the spread that week, Chris, Topher, Pete, and the Giants get a point there.
Man.
As called by Chris Topher, Pete, he said he was going to get the turnovers +2, plus or minus differential, and +2 was a winner on the week for the G-men as well. And then it was a really good week for that wheel to land on longest touchdown, because we had, as long as it gets, the Philadelphia Eagles on a 99-yard pick six, getting a point for Gregg.
Yeah.
But
technically
not
99 yards.
How far did he run, Randy?
74.
How far did he run?
Hey, not as far as CD Lamb did.
How far did the guy run?
99 yards.
On the stats, it said it went for 99 yards. So
I'm pretty sure he ran
over.
It's kind of like a punt return, right? Like a dude.
Yeah, the Giants had a punt return for 94 yards. CD Lamb, as fought over here, had a 92-yard amazing touchdown. And then right behind that, we even had Slayton with an 80-yard touchdown. Paul pulling in the rear. You had a big 3-yard touchdown by McLaren. Thank you for your participation the past couple weeks I'm
just happy they're getting Terry involved. If they can get Terry involved, I want to keep him happy for next year. I need him as a leader in the locker room, so keep him happy.
Updated season-long scores.
In Philly, right?
Updated season-long scores. We got Paul on the back at 8. We got Randy still in it at 15, but likely looking to need a sweep this week on whatever that wheel lands on. And then right up top, we got a tie right now with Chris and the Giants and Gregg and the Eagles, both at 18 points, coming down to the final week. And they play each other. Wow,
Greg, this is my excitement.
Exciting. So we're gonna let Chris
Super Bowl
with the.
I don't have anything else, man.
The best week last week in the internal competition. We're gonna let Chris lead it off and start the trash talk early.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. I thought I had a pretty good week with the picks. I mean, I did pick. I thought Dallas would win and cover. I think I said that, but they won. But nothing to be ashamed of there. I mean, 2 heavyweights battling out in Dallas. I mean, nothing to be ashamed of. Eagles, I thought they were going to win. I mean, it's getting rough, man. Like the last 5 weeks have been rough. But I thought they were going to win, but I didn't think they would cover.
I don't think anybody picked against the Eagles last week here. So.
Nah, not to lose. I didn't expect that.
No.
But, yeah, I mean, I am happy about the wheel. I'm glad we got the wheel to brag about. I feel like the only reason why I ever am in this is because of our defense. You guys still say they're not a good defense. I think they're a very, very good defense with the potential to be a damn good top.
You added a very. This
week.
Dude,
they are a good defense, man. Like the Rams are a good
only
team,
allowed
right?
26 points.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on any of these games. I do have
but you will.
I do have a surprise for you guys. But like the Rams are a good team. They're fighting. They were trying to get a better spot. I mean, we held them to 2 and 8 on third down. We got 4 sacks. We got 3 takeaways. Time of possession was damn close. I mean, we're losing guys because of the quarterback play. He was terrible in the first half. Tyrod Taylor was awful. And in the second half, he did play better. He should have won the game. He could have ran that ball in. He could have ran it in himself. He should have just followed Saquon. Saquon could have blocked for him. We should have got a 2-point conversion there. I'm not even mad at Matt Crosby. The dude hasn't played in like 13 years. I can't be mad at him from kicking in that Wendy Stadium. Like,
Mason
it
Crosby?
is what it is. Mason Crosby. I don't even know his name. It doesn't matter. Crosby. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. But the Giants, I am mad, Greg. Like, I know you're bitter because you and I are a lot alike. Unlike Paul, we like to win. And I would have loved to win this game. I would have loved to beat you last week. I would love to beat you this week. It really ain't going to matter. I think Dallas is going to have a cakewalk. They're going to win the division. I mean, they're playing the Washington team that is probably never going to be good again. So it's really nothing to like. Dallas is going to win the division, but I'm disappointed. I wanted to win, man. But I do like the fact that we're fighting and we keep competing. And next week, I think we're going to do the same. And I makes me excited for next year. And I think we were texting earlier. I do think we would have been better healthy. There's a lot of like positive things that I see that I think we could be a better team next year. I am believing in DJ. I would like to see him play healthy. I like to see him get back, be there week 1. Last year we had a poor offensive line. It was better than this one. This one actually started getting better by like week 12, week 13. But just the first 9, 10 games, it was a shit show. And then we lost 2 quarterbacks. I mean, that's how bad it was. It's record breaking. They got the most sacks in a season. It's awful. But I think that's what we concentrate on. But before we get into talking about the Eagles and before we talk about the Cowboys, I was supposed to have a special guest. My special guest got sick. So then I had to like scramble at the last minute, and I thought I have the perfect special guest. So I would like to bring in the Beard of Knowledge.
This is your perfect special guest. Let's hear it. What do we got?
This is my special guest.
This is what we resolved to, people.
This is what I resolved to. This is what I resolved to. I brought in the Beard of Knowledge because, first of all, it's his birthday. Happy birthday, my man. Paul,
happy birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Great nickname, Paul. Great nickname. The Beard of Knowledge is here. And I think it's also fitting because I wanted to thank you, and I'm pretty sure these guys want to too. Thank you for putting this together, man. We love you. This is a lot of fun. We get to talk about our favorite team. Hopefully I can teach these guys a few things throughout the year. I mean, this is a great thing, man. I really love it, and we appreciate you, man. So you are the special guest, and I want to rag on these birds a little bit, and I want to talk about the Cowboys. We can talk about the Skins if you guys want to. I don't think we really need to, but I don't know, man. Let's hear it. What do you got to say for yourself?
First, Randy, I wish that you would just that hat, that dunce cap that you have on, that you wear so well. If you could possibly reach through the mic or reach through the camera and put it rightfully on Chris's head, because that was the worst monologue I've ever heard. It was worse than Billy Madison getting up there talking about the lost puppy.
I'll take happy words. I appreciate it.
I just wanted to bring him on and give him some props here because he deserves it.
No, this is awesome. You guys have been great. I sit back behind the scenes, obviously behind the camera, taking notes and doing all the work on the back end. But enjoy watching you guys, and hopefully you're a great example for all the future groups we have to come. What we're trying to do here. I know there's plenty more delusional fans like Chris out there that got buddies that love talking trash.
Come on, man. You're my special guest, brother. You're my special guest.
DJ's a bum, Chris.
Yeah.
I got to stay out of Paul's crosshairs. It's because I'm the producer doesn't mean he won't come after me.
he will.
Absolutely not. Are you serious? I'm never even going to cash any of the checks that he sends just because I think his autograph on that check's going to be worth so much money.
Awesome.
Hey.
What about the sweatshirt? Nobody said anything about the sweatshirt. Check the swag.
It's a great sweatshirt.
I do like it. I can't hardly see it, but
I would love to have one and a hat and everything else to match.
Speaking of hats, fine.
You got the blue one finally.
Finally.
Hey,
what's your take on the games, man? Let's jump on these games a little bit.
So I guess if I'm on here, I do want to talk about that line situation. And I told you guys in the text messages, like, I don't know football like you guys know football. I know my place, but at the end of the day, to me, it just felt like a very risky call by the coach at the last minute that could have went either way. Didn't pan out the way it went, and results are what they were. I think just to hit on that before you finish that, the thing is that both teams, the coaches meet with the referees.
I was just going to say that
well before the game. Well before the games, and they let them know to literally to counteract this. So there isn't, you're not going to waste anybody's time. They stop the clock and review stuff, and it takes so long, takes away from all the different sports, basketball even more than this. But they have it where they already know the things that you're going to. So any excuse for really not knowing that's really not
Okay.
there. I don't understand exactly why
I
they
do want
had.
to.
No,
But I don't. But I agree. I'm not saying that it was completely wrong. The Lions are definitely still at fault too.
I actually seen Rex Ryan break that down, and I thought he did a very good job of explaining exactly what you're saying, which helped me. But I still, the coach made a decision to do something that I'll even say creative. I'm giving him props. I'm really not talking trash on him, but
I mean, it
how
happens
many
a lot.
chances did they have to convert that, and they didn't?
Three.
Three.
And going for it after you had the
So
penalty,
just let it
that
go.
had some balls.
Yeah, I mean, in
100% agree.
the end of it, like 70 had reported eligible the whole game. I mean, he was the number one offensive lineman reporting eligible. If you look at where the ref's looking, when Decker's walking up to him, 68, he's looking at 70 who's running in the field. And I'm not saying it was right or wrong. The refs made a mistake, but he thought number 70 reported eligible, ran right by Decker, who's looking at him trying to talk to him. Probably because there's a lot of noise, runs right by Decker to the Dallas defense to say, Dallas, 70's reporting eligible, then reports 70's eligible. At that point, if I'm a coach for the Lions, somebody's got to say something. I mean, you're hearing it over the loudspeaker.
But if you're looking at it, 70 is bunched in the line. Like, if he was eligible, where was he going to go? 68 is lined up where a tight end was. It's the obvious choice. That's why.
But also, even with that, 68 is still being covered up by the receiver. So it's either illegal touching at that point or illegal formation. With when you look at it, so they should have thrown a flag for illegal formation because Decker was illegally.
I was going to say there was other things going on and all that too, right?
I think the fair thing to do would have been blow the call dead and restart. Would have been the fair thing to do. In the end of it, though, I still say they announce it over the loudspeaker. I heard it through my ears on the TV. Number 70 is eligible, is reported eligible. So everybody can hear it in the stadium. And then the Lions coaches still didn't stop it. They still did not stop the play. Like, why wouldn't you, if you're a Lions coach at that point, say,
call timeout?
Wait a second. My opinion is they were trying a little trickery. And guess what? It didn't work in your favor. I don't know.
To be honest with you, and I could be 100% wrong about this. I didn't follow up a lot of it afterwards, and we sent some texts and stuff. But didn't it kind of look like so they didn't know who was eligible? They sent
they sent three. There was three people. There was actually a third guy that was in there that was close as well.
And what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, they were trying to throw off Dallas.
70 was like in between the ref and them.
Wrong people.
Right. Like, it was almost too good and it threw the refs off. But, like, I didn't know what Randy said either. Like, they actually announced it. I didn't even think about that.
No, I didn't know that either.
And then the refs got removed from playing in the playoffs, right?
I mean, again, I do think the refs messed it up. And shame on them. But on the other hand of things, like, there was a lot going on. I'm sure that stadium was loud as all hay to begin with. And then you've got people trying to trick Dallas and sending multiple linemen up to the ref at the same time. The ref's obviously a little bit flustered. And again, it's like, you look at the play, a little bit before that, the tripping play. That was.
I was about to say, the game should have been over. This last touchdown shouldn't have even happened.
No, it shouldn't.
Dallas should have been able to run out the clock. So it's not just that last play, but the tripping thing on Aiden Hutchinson. That's why this whole crew, which they very justly, is done for the year.
This is the same crew, by the way, that officiated the Kansas City Buffalo game. Gregg,
it's Kansas City now.
Good job.
Good job, Randy.
Chiefs Buffalo. Gregg,
You did it
right.
It's the same crew that officiated one other game I've been talking about all year. Philadelphia, Miami, same crew.
Gregg, you taking notes that Randy just said that he won a game because of the refs?
Yeah, I am.
When did I say that, Mike?
You just said
that the refs made a mistake.
Yeah, I derailed your Giants. I derailed your Giants opportunity, Chris. My bad.
No,
And I
it's
don't
all good.
know if
I wanted us to talk about the other teams, and this is exactly
me
what I
too,
wanted to
Steven.
talk
Thank
about.
you.
It's exactly what I wanted to talk about because in that game, like I said, like it was a good game. The time of possession was close. The turnovers were close. The yardage were close. That was two teams fighting, and there are two teams that are fighting in the NFC that could potentially be a Super Bowl contending team. So nothing to be ashamed of either team. It was just a freaky ending, and that's what I wanted to hit on. I know you wanted to hit on that. The Eagles game, I mean, I wanted to touch real quick on that. Like, I'm not
Go
going to get into
Birds.
stats. I'm not going to get into any of that, but this is how I look at it. They lost 3 in a row. They struggled against this team that he likes to make fun of that's 5-11, which they are bad, and we're not good. But we took you to the last play of the game, and then you're up 21-6. I think there's a clip of me saying you choked a double-digit lead, dude. You did it again against
I
a
put
team
together
that's
that
been
clip.
like. It's been like a
Yeah, thanks.
laughing stock. You've been giving Randy shit about it all year about losing to the
I
Cardinals.
have.
Here's a game you had to win at home. Quarterback had 167 yards, turned the ball over again. You blew
Turned
Yo.
the ball over. He threw a Hail Mary.
He still
So
turned.
let's not
Well,
It's pretty
say
much every
that he
week.
had a
It's
bad
pretty much
game.
a
Before we
given.
get
It's
deep-
pretty much a given.
Before we get deep into the game, I want to. Who was the dude that wore the hockey jersey?
Oh, that's
I
Kyler
missed-
Murray wore
yeah.
Sidney Crosby jersey.
Yeah, I thought that
Yeah.
was awesome.
Douche. That wasn't awesome.
what size was it? Like a
I saw
medium
that
or
afterwards.
something?
It was my
He's
my
only like
11-year-old
4'9".
It was like
yeah,
it was
my
an extra
11-year-old
small.
wears the same.
Yeah, it was the
It was
youth
extra
extra
small.
large.
But think of the team they are though, and like the balls it took for him to like be that confident walking in there. I hate
He's
the
worn
Eagles, and
worse.
it is, but I mean, there's still a competitive team out there that got to be taken serious, even though they had
the
a
whole
losing
NFL's.
streak.
Yeah.
Like he had some audacity to show up with that. They're lucky they won.
I wish
Yeah.
I wish it was snowing.
Dude, the time of possession too. Like you're turning the ball over. The time of possession, they almost doubled you, and they outscored you 29-10 in the second half, and they got 4 wins. That's not a team
I agree.
that's a team that's not winning a Super Bowl this year.
And
So you can
unfortunately,
laugh at my team all you want.
and you unfortunately got the wrong receiver hurt. You got the one you do like, not the one you don't like.
Yeah,
So,
maybe you should trade the diva and get rid of him and let the guy with the head on his shoulders be your leader. Because, like, dude, that's another thing, man. Between him and your coach being a head case, a lot of problems in Philly, man.
What's going on down there, Greg?
Yeah, I don't listen to everything that they say on ESPN, but today on NFL Live, they went through the Eagles, like what was wrong with the Eagles, and they were like, so what do the Eagles do good on defense? And they didn't have one single thing.
Nothing.
They went through like 11 different scenarios, and they said nothing. And
so comparing us to last year we had a pass rush. We led the league in sacks. We had a defensive coordinator that we laughed about, that we didn't like. We send him off packing after he quote unquote lost us and choked, and we lost the Super Bowl. So we sent him packing. He goes to the Cardinals. Came back the following year, last week, and he plays against us. And he's the former defense coordinator, and he's like, listen, this team's soft. This team is weak. I know we're going to run over them, and they're not going to stop us. And that's what we did. Or they did. They ran all over us, and we could not stop them. It's an absolute joke with the whole Patricia thing. It was just, we're going to put him in there and throw a Hail Mary and hope that it changes our defense. Our defense is horrible. It is literally pathetic. It's sad. And when I get into the X's and O's, it pisses me off, because if you have a team running heavily on you and you throw what we call a 5-1 base defense out there, which is 5 D linemen and a middle linebacker, and then you have your safety trickling down. So it's almost like a 5-2. All it takes is to hit the gap or hit the seam, and you're getting 9-10 yards a run. And that's what they did to us, and we couldn't stop it.
40 rushing attempts too.
But
they were dedicated.
That's what I was just looking at.
There was the one
40
play.
attempts.
It was 4th and 3 or something, and they had 2 linemen up on the line, and everybody else was back 5-6 yards.
Yeah, it's insane.
I've never seen a play.
It's
the dumbest thing in the world.
They had 221 total rushing yards.
We didn't make any adjustments. We didn't do anything about it, and that's what's frustrating. And that's why this coaching staff has to go. You want to talk about AJ Brown. AJ Brown makes his contract's $100 million. He hasn't caught a touchdown in over a month. Like, we're just not getting him the ball, and that's why he's frustrated. Rightfully so. I mean, I don't know if I would go to the point where I don't talk to the media for 3 weeks and then post something on Twitter today and say I'm talking tomorrow. I mean, it's a shit show. I'm just being honest with you. It's not going to end well. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose to the Giants and then get our clocks cleaned by Tampa Bay in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, I need that not to happen because I'm not rooting for you, but I'm rooting against the Cowboys. So if I only have the Niners to beat the Cowboys, that's only one chance. I need at least 2 good chances in there. So you need to nut up, and you were talking about the most sacks. You have no sacks. No sacks on the team.
I can't wait till we're in the Super Bowl, Paul, and I can be like, hey, just so you know, all your worst nightmares.
So I am supporting you, but I ain't supporting you that far, buddy.
The old bag.
You're sending Cowboys pictures today, Chris. Like, come on.
Yeah, seriously.
Dude, you're a closet Cowboys fan.
That was a good meme.
I don't want to hear it, Paul. Put your Eagles jersey on.
There's
don't
1.5 Giants
Don't you give him crap.
I
feel like you cheered more for the Eagles than you did for the Redskins this year.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
There's 1.5. True. Steve was smart, and he brought in 1.5 Giants fans
and 1.5 Eagle fans.
In case Chris quit. I've heard that Chris quits on these things sometimes. And 1.5 Cowboys fans in case Randy got freaking shot in the woods, shot himself in the woods.
I quit. I'm the most flexible. Don't miss anything. Let's go.
Listen, it was a World Series game, Chris, or NLC championship.
Dude, you had to miss that. No,
that was an excused absence for sure.
All right, good.
100%.
So yeah, anyway, back to the Eagles. Like it's a train wreck, is what it is, and we're not going to get rid of Sirianni because Sirianni's a yes man. He doesn't coach. He doesn't call any plays, offensive or defensive. He's got no strategy. I'm not saying he's overrated, but he's losing the locker room.
Okay, well, Greg, what if we put Brian Daboll on the Eagles? Then what happens? Then let's talk about it.
We're not going to waste our time with this stuff tonight, but they would be better.
Thank you.
And he probably would have benched Jalen Hurts just like he did when he was at Alabama.
Oh, there it is. Damn it. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
Since I'm so special of a guest, can I request to get Randy's take on everything this week?
100%.
Absolutely.
I'm
got the hat for
dying to hear what
Let's
Mr. Randy has to say.
I don't have a whole lot of opinion on the Washington game. Chris, you guys should have won that game.
We should have.
Such a hard-fought game.
I know.
You know,
I'm
my
so
boys.
Pissed about it.
I don't care. My boys played a better game. Whatever the call was, there was some crap at the end, but the boys dominated the whole game. I'm sorry. Cowboys still had 23 seconds and 2 times out, and the best field goal kicker in the league. I still don't know if everything went the total south, if we would have lost that game. But Greg, my man.
Oh, let's play the song. Yeah.
We figured out the music.
Greg. Yeah, we did.
That's
right.
I got it. Yeah.
Bird.
It out.
Go Bird.
Yeah. So,
burn, baby.
I mean, all year long, I've been saying it. All year long, I've been saying you guys are winning close games and you're going to start getting burnt. I think I almost said you had your hands in your pants. You got caught with your hand in the
other
cookie
people's
jar
pants. It was other people's pants.
Paul, did you see I did it?
Yeah,
I did.
Absolutely.
I think you got caught. I think you got caught with your hands in other people's cookie jars a few too many times. You know, it's just crazy. I think it's hilarious. I got a lot of Eagles friends that are all pissed off that I'm totally wrong on this thing at the end of the Dallas game and that blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I think it's great that here we are in week 17 and they're complaining about Dallas getting handed wins while they're losing to crappy teams. I just think it's a perfect oxymoron of what happened at the beginning of the year.
It's the worst time.
We lost to good teams, Greg.
But like the Giants, we won. I'm not making about the Giants, but we won Super Bowls because of the last quarter of the season. Like you want to get hot in the last quarter. You are like probably one of the worst teams in the league right now.
So now
of the season.
All the crap talking aside, I will say the one thing that I was very impressed with the Eagles at the end of that game.
The playoffs.
At the end of the game, the Eagles came back 3 times to take the lead in the fourth quarter. And as much as your defense sucked, but there was some good stuff happening on offense. And I definitely don't worry about you right now in the playoffs like I do some other teams. I honestly, I'm looking at like your seeding position and the fact that you're probably playing Tampa or Atlanta and kind of a little bit jealous, even though I guess the home field advantage is a big thing, because we're probably playing Green Bay or Seattle. And to me, We got
Jordan
a
Love's
tougher
playing good again.
I know.
Did you just say is home field an advantage? Randy, you haven't beaten any team on the road.
You're right.
Of course it's an advantage.
You're right. And of course, Washington's going to start who knows who, and it's going to be tough to win.
No, it's not.
I don't know how I take that whole seeding thing, because at the end of the day, you have to beat them all. So, like, does it matter who you play first or last? Like, you still have to beat the same people of the same caliber.
It does.
It does a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't want to go
matter,
play.
but you don't want to play for seeding. You'll end up getting bit if you start looking. You start game planning for the seeds. You need to take it one game at a time.
Out of the
you
way,
got to
prepare. Be honest.
So let me ask you something. I hear you, Steve, but let me ask you something right now. Wouldn't you rather see your team win a playoff game?
As a Dallas fan, absolutely.
Than win 0.
But in general.
So right now,
I'd rather get the hard one out of the way.
Right now, you're Steve Moore.
Yeah, we all won a
playoff
playoff game last year, right? We liked that. Oh, sorry, Paul. You didn't win a
right
playoff
now.
game last year.
Sure.
You
guys were awesome.
It would be nice to win a playoff game, but it'd be even better to win a Super Bowl. And to win a Super Bowl, you have to beat everybody.
It'd be great to be in the Super Bowl.
But right now, let's just say the first game, if you could pick Green Bay or Tampa Bay as your opponent the first week, who would you pick?
Green Bay, easily.
Really?
I think I want to play Green. I mean, Jordan Love is playing really well right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're playing, or the Rams. I mean, it could be the Rams too.
It doesn't matter. We have to be good enough to beat them all, Randy.
You do have to be good enough to.
I understand.
And this is why I was ragging on you a few weeks ago for not having faith, and then here you are getting ready to win the division. A couple weeks ago, you were like, it doesn't matter. We're not going to win the division because they got the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Giants.
I think I said
and that's why you're the best Dallas fan.
I think I said we're not going to get the number one spot, or the number one spot.
You're going to get the number 2, and you're going to go from 5 to 2 in 2 weeks.
The only person that I think is really a problem for us is the Niners. Outside of that, I think we have as good a shot as anybody else.
But you got to remember
in the NFC,
come playoff time.
Period.
Slates are wiped clean, and I can tell you the Rams are playing good right now. The Rams are playing real good.
Man, we almost beat them. We should have beat them.
They're still playing
with a backup quarterback.
If you would have had an O-line, you would have.
Yeah, if we would have had a quarterback.
I mean, Chris, to your point about your
could have put any bum in there.
I mean, Dallas
Andrew Thomas.
There,
I said it.
Dallas had their chosen.
Daniel Jones would have ran that in.
Any bum could have won that game.
Dallas had their chosen offensive line 52% of snaps this year. How long is Lane Johnson out in the Eagles line? In the end of it, I hear you on your guys being injured, but that is part of the year. People get injured on every team. And it's 100%. Like, I hear you saying, sure, if you had all your guys all year and they were healthy all year, yeah, you might have won more games. But every team can say that. I mean, you don't know.
This was really, really detrimental for us early on. It was bad. And our line sucks anyway.
I mean, number one defensive player, Stephon Diggs goes down, and you don't think that hurts Dallas?
Well, it did hurt Dallas, but then
Stephon Diggs on defense. I hate that. That's terrible.
You'll get it right one day.
Here we go, this grammar teacher.
But the guy that slid in there,
you're mixing and matching humans.
Yeah, well.
I mean, did he not? The guy that took his place came in. Was he a rookie or a second year?
No, he was playing the first week too. He was playing all year. He played besides Stephon Diggs.
Don't ask Ray. He doesn't know who's on his team. He has no idea who's on his team.
I know, and then everybody
Bland.
Okay. First 2 weeks, I got made fun of from knowing my team.
I hate to be the bad guy here, but we gotta watch time. This is why the producer shouldn't be on the show. Boo. Yeah, this is why I shouldn't be on the show.
You're usually in the background there, Scuba Steve.
Yeah.
Paul needs to talk. Paul left. Yep. Paul, do you got anything you want to say about the Redskin Commanders from last week?
No, not about that game. No, that was
That's
done.
interesting. Anyone else have an opinion?
That was done before it even started. I feel bad for Sam Howell because he wasn't planning on playing, and I was looking forward to seeing just really what Jacoby could have done as a starting quarterback. Just see if it would do something to kind of revive the team a little bit. Appreciate if you wouldn't drink while I'm talking there, Andy. But
some ice cubes.
It's like Jesus, like something out of Looney Tunes when you do it, or like Dr. Seuss. But I needed you muted. I needed you muted, not off camera. No, I mean the game was pretty hard to watch. My son and I were watching on the two TVs, and we had the Redskins one kind of muted, and we were following along with it. And for the first quarter and a half, I was like, dang, it's close. I actually spent New Year's Eve with a Niners fan, and he was like, dude, you're playing okay, moving the ball, score was tight, defense was looking good. and then it just kind of went off the rails. So I mean, there was a little bit of hope at first, but you could see that it was just at some point they were going to lose it and just it was going to get out of hand. But I was really looking forward to seeing Jacoby out there, and I wasn't really convinced that he was all that hurt. I mean, so many quarterbacks have played through more, so I'm hoping he'll play in the last game. But
guys might get DJ
we'll
next
see.
year.
Dude, at this point, I'll almost entertain anything.
That would be pure entertainment if that happened.
That would.
Especially if the Giants pick up Trey Lance.
Dude, it's not going to be Trey Lance. We're going to take a quarterback maybe somewhere in the draft. We're going to pick the best player available wherever that is.
Jaden Daniels is going to be a Giant.
See, I honestly see you guys have interest in him.
So we got a
Niners. You picked before us.
We got
They're going to be picking high enough to get somebody better than that.
Yeah, they're definitely picking before us.
Right now, Washington's slated to pick 2.
Yeah.
Right, Paul?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're the second pick because whoever we lost the tiebreaker against somebody. I can't remember who it was, but we're number 2 because the Patriots.
How far do you think the Bears are trade back
this week? They're getting one of the top 2 picks. Yeah. We're going to try to trade. We're going to try to trade with Washington.
That's what I was thinking.
Whoever we got to stay above Arizona so we can get Marvin Harrison Jr. But we're going to try to trade with Washington.
I was thinking.
That's what
at least your owner's not throwing drinks on people, Paul. I'm very proud of you.
Hey, for $300,000, if I could do that, I would. I would charter a plane right now just to bang on Randy's door with like 10 anchovy pizzas and just throw a bucket of spit right in his face.
We got a Niners guy that's trying to get a group together to get involved in this, and he's apparently coming on once we hit playoff time, right, guys? That he come on.
That works.
I'm very.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm very interested to see what his take is.
And what's his handle?
Us from his perspective, you know what I mean?
It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right coming from you, Randy. We'll talk about people's handles like that.
Do you have any? You got any info on him? You got anything on a name or a screen name?
I'll send it to you guys once we.
I don't know if you want to give him a shout out.
When we get him on, I'll get you guys connected and everything. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. We'll get rolling towards the second half here. I just want to point out before we leave the first half some Nostradamus-like stuff last week from Randy. He went 3 for 4 on his picks, and I wrote 2 specific quotes down from last week's episode that proved to be very true. He said, 1-score games, Cowboys win, Eagles lose. That was true this week, and I feel like he knew something somebody didn't know last week when he said this one, because with Dallas playing Detroit and the Eagles with the schedule they had left, you said to Gregg in an argument, you said, if I'm sitting where you're sitting, I'd be much more worried than where I'm sitting now. Saying you were more confident playing the teams you had left and the teams Gregg had left. That made no sense at the time, but look where we are. We got Dallas in the driver's seat. That's definitely ending the year as he started the year with some Nostradamus-like stuff. I think that might be the name of our episode if we're allowed to curse in an episode name.
What do you want? What do you want?
What a dick.
What a dak.
I'll see what I can do.
Damn, Randy.
All right, let's get out of here. We'll be back soon to look forward to the last week of the year.
DJ's a bum.
All right.
Hey, a bum. That's Paul's
there
line.
It is.
He is a bum.
Welcome back to Clashing Conferences podcast. We are here with our last look forward to week 18. It'll be our last episode with the wheel. So that's pretty exciting. We're going to get our last 3 categories with Gregg and Chris. The Giants and the Eagles currently fighting for the number 1 spot in our internal competition.
Why could that be for the division?
If Randy were to sweep the week, he could get right back in this. He's at 15, 3 points behind you guys. So we're going to get 3 new categories there. Quick update on the matchups for the week. We got Philadelphia going up I-95 this time to play the Giants. The Giants are plus 5.5 in the spread there. We got Dallas going to Washington. We got a spread of plus 13.5 there for Washington. And just to give these guys a third game to pick, I'm throwing in the Buffalo Miami game, pretty good game there for a division championship, and Miami is getting 3 points in that one. So our 4 guys here will pick those 3 games for the week, and now let's get 3 wheel spins and our last 3 categories for the year to see who's going to win this internal competition. It's been a good one.
Something defense.
Oh God, no.
Receiving yards for any single player. So, hey,
So
Chris,
just so you understand, Greg, this means that you can't take an interception 99 yards. It has to be a receiver.
Yeah. I'm well aware of that.
Okay, just want to make sure you are clear.
Probably should have done that probably should have been the same one last week.
Keep talking.
It
Randy.
wasn't. It wasn't right.
Rushing yards, quarterback.
Well,
Chris, you're falling even further behind the 8 ball here.
Well, Tyrod can run the ball.
And Sam Howell can run
That
backwards.
is
That
true.
doesn't have to,
That
if
is
we're
true.
if we're doing total yards, not net, but gross yards, then I think Sam Howell will win.
And you don't necessarily need the Giants to win. You just need
some points. And Tyrod was our leading
rusher. Need him to
run
like hell.
To win. Our last category is going to be rushing touchdowns, team total. So you got a shot at that, Chris. You got Saquon back there. Give him a chance.
I hope.
Hey, our defense is like
have
Swiss
some faith
cheese.
in your team, Chris.
Yeah.
But
such
that's
a
not
losing mentality. What are you doing?
Yeah,
you're going for a championship and you're talking about losing.
Thank you, Paul. You're right. You're right.
Get you
Damn
back.
it.
I want to get you back. There you go.
Build me back up. Thank you. I wanted defense.
What was the first one? I didn't write them down as we were going through
longest receiving touchdown.
Nope. Receiving yards.
Receiving yards single player was one of them.
Yep.
Easy.
Yep. That one.
I know you want to say something smart.
Rushing yards quarterback.
Oh, I froze.
And then rushing touchdowns.
All right. Who's up? I think
Paul
should go. He didn't get much last round.
No, I was fine. That was one of the most enjoyable segments I think I've ever been a part of, to be honest. You kind of wear a penis a little bit there, Chris, but I will let that go because, even though, okay, God, you didn't win. If you had won, we'd still be in the first damn segment while you were just not going to take too much time to talk about.
I wasn't trying, buddy.
Hey, you did a decent time today. You did all right. And it only took 17 weeks, plus 2 pilots. So I do like adding that third game because, it is going to be just 2 games this week. I kind of wish we had this earlier in the year. To be honest, I think that would have been kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're looking at the 2 games, I do think that I don't know why, but Greg, I'm just going to say that you are going to win, and I think it's. But this time, I'm not taking the spread. But I do think you will win. You very well may cover the spread, but I am not confident that you will. So, it's probably going to take a bunch of Tom shit for you to blow it, but it's very possible that happens. But I do think that you are going to win. But that 5 points up, things are different up there in MetLife. I don't know what happens up there. Things are like the air is a little bit different.
Place.
Yeah. So I hate going up there, and everything in that stadium sucks. So, I wish you the worst, but absolutely, I wish you the worst, but just a little bit,
fans,
but not as bad as him. So, our game, I have no idea what's going to happen because I don't know who the quarterback's going to be. Once again, I would love to see Jacoby Brissett. I think he would give us the best chance in this game. And I think actually we could take a couple of those categories potentially with that. I think, possibly could have a couple of rushing ones, and that would lead it for I think that would give us a point there, and I think that would increase my total by like 10% for the whole year if I get a point. So that's what I'm going for. The Bills-Dolphins game, I love watching. My favorite games this year were the ones I look forward to the most was when the Cowboys and the Eagles played the Dolphins and the Bills. So, I would love to see literally a series of our 2 teams and those 2 teams play a bunch of games like a round robin thing. So I think that there's going to be hopefully a lot of points. I think it's going to come down to Chris's boy, how he plays. Apparently, over the last like 5 or 6 weeks, he's got like one of the lowest completion percentages, like just barely better than even like Will Levis, who normally isn't even throwing forwards. But last week I thought he actually looked pretty good. He got it done, and when they can get the running game in there, then they look pretty good. So I think that the Bills are going to cover and win. I think that the Cowboys are also going to cover and win. That is head, not heart. Heart says that we're going to make sure that Jacoby Brissett eats his Wheaties or whatever the hell his friend Vitamin so he can play. I don't know I still don't really know why he didn't play.
I was going to ask you, like, what was his scratch for?
It was something that came. I don't know. I'm not even speculating because I don't even remember. But I was like that. I feel bad. I feel bad for Sam Howell. He went out there, and the team. The team has never said anything bad about him. You don't hear any of this AJ Brown crap about Sam Howell, even though he's played like he's been, hitting the Eagles the last 5 or 6 weeks. You wouldn't know it, but the team still loves him. So do I. But I want to see him succeed, and last thing you want is just keep put in bad situations. And if he is in the plans for next year, I don't want anything bad to happen to him now. Late, there's a couple of injuries that happened. Like I saw Bradley Chubb go down for the Dolphins. That was pretty rough because
that's a big one.
He probably should not have been in the game. I know he didn't need. I'm not going to say he shouldn't have been, but he didn't really need to be in the game. So I don't want to see something like that happen. Not that I want to see it happen to Jacoby or anybody outside of Dallas, but I definitely don't want to see it happen to Sam. So, but yeah, those are my picks. I probably didn't even pick everything that we talked about, but that's okay because
you want to do picks for the. Did you do picks for the competition?
Yeah, I mean, I got Jacoby with both of them.
Okay,
I got Jacoby
going.
I got Jacoby doubling up, and shoot.
Gotcha.
As much as I want to see Jacoby, if I could get him the longest receiving touchdown, I would as well. But I am going to go. But I am going to go with CD. Although my head says to go with AJ Brown, just so he shuts up. And depending on
I want him to be miserable going into the playoffs.
I wouldn't either. Hey, to be honest, I would literally I would give him whatever he wanted just for a little bit and just shut him up. You're going to need to anyways if Devontae Smith is not 100%. So give him what he wants.
Just to be clear here, because I froze up there for a minute when I asked the question. Our 3 categories, is one quarterback rush yards?
It's quarterback rush yards, rushing TDs, and then the receiving yards, any single player.
Okay, so it's not longest touchdown
No.
receiver. It's okay, total yards. All right.
Yep.
Making sure I understand. Got it.
Yeah, that's why I was saying Jacoby, I think, could do possibly 2 of those. But yeah, receiving yards, I think it's going to be CD. His stats the second half of the year have been just unbelievable, just off the charts. So I don't see why that would change against our awesome defense.
Well, I'll tell you why it's going to change, because they're going to be up 38-0 at halftime and not play the second half.
It's true. It's very possible. I guess I don't know.
The Cowboys are going to be up 38-0.
Yeah.
My
man, you want to borrow his hat,
normally
Greg?
say F you to you, Greg, but you know
what?
Maybe on
I'll
your
let
way
you wear
out,
his hat if you want, Greg.
Maybe when you get off that seat, you get out of that seat and stub your toe.
I'm trying to see how I can win the week with these categories, and that's the only way I can win it.
Well, let's hear about it.
He has been hot.
Let's hear about it. Let's see what you got. I'm gonna
show
me how you sweep.
Well, I'm just thinking
about
this.
Two.
If I take a step back and think about this, and we're finishing up our preseason podcast, and you tell me we're 11-5 or 10-1 after the Bills game, I am ecstatic. I'm very happy. It's a tale of the last couple games that have just put me into a tailspin, and I don't want to be Negadelphia. Trying not to be Negadelphia, but it is. It's so frustrating.
What did you just call me?
Negadelphia. That's what we are. We're very negative here in Philadelphia.
I call you Philadelphia.
Not Philadelphia. Stop that. There are parts that are not that nice, though. I will say that. But out here in the sprawling Chester County, we got it. It's beautiful out here. So anyway, back to my theory. My theory is I don't think Devontae is going to play. I think that AJ is going to take the receiving yards. I think the rushing yards by quarterback, I think to have a chance, we have to we have to have him rush. I think we have to have that threat of him in there, and that's what we did last year. And that's, to me, that's what creates the creative plays. Last year we used to have sets, and off that set you could run 3 or 4 plays off of that set. This year there's one. You have the set and you run the play off the set. Hence the reason Christian McCaffrey can tell everybody on national TV what play you're playing. There's just no creativity, and I think we need to get that back. I don't know how to get that back with the coordinators we have, but we got to mix it in. We have to do everything we can. It's do or die. Chances are that Washington is going to lose and Dallas is going to win the NFC East and then get the number 2 seed. And
oh man, say that one more time.
No, I will not repeat that.
Getting cold sweat here.
So then adding to that, I will take Jalen, obviously with rushing quarterback yards and then the rushing TDs. I think that's the only way we beat the Giants is to mix it up.
We got to keep you off the 1 yard line. That's all. Yeah. That's all we got to do.
And that's the thing. You asked me what our identity was last year. You asked me what our identity was when we won the Super Bowl. We were running team that mixes into play action and can throw the ball. This year we have zero identity. We are tush push. Exactly. That's all we can do. We don't do anything else well. Our defense is stagnant and horrible. The sacks, I think we have a quarter or a third of the sacks that we had last year when we led the league. It's horrible. So going back to that, I think the Eagles will win, but I don't think they're going to cover. I think it's going to be another last possession 1-point game, and it's going to suck. And it's going to drive me crazy because you guys are going to be texting me all night from 4:30 to 7:30, and it's going to just frustrate me. And of course, at the same time is the Dallas game, and they're probably going to have everything won by halftime. I'm going to take Dallas, and I think they're going to cover by more than 13.5. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, but the way things are going right now, I don't see it.
Just go with your heart, not your head, Gregg, okay? Just give me a little something. Go with your heart.
And then the Miami game, I think it depends on who plays. From what I'm hearing, Waddle is still questionable and probably won't play, but they're not sure. I know Buffalo, I believe, has pretty much everybody to go. I think going down to Miami is a tough place to play. Miami should win that game, but if they don't have Waddle, I think Buffalo can win that. So I don't know. I'm going to take Buffalo +3 on that one. Just because I don't like Waddle play.
I thought it was 3.5.
Or 3.5. I thought it was 3. That might be the ESPN line.
I thought Miami was getting +3.
Yeah, Miami's getting 3.5.
At home?
It's
in Buffalo.
Yeah. No, it's in Miami.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought you said it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
That's a weird line. I don't like that. That's a crazy line. A home dog? Give me the home dog.
And they're the division leader too. That's like
disrespect.
Current line is Miami by 3.
Be careful there. You're betting against Chris's boyfriend. He's got pictures of Josh Allen without a shirt on up in his room. So
that's not a true statement.
You're
that's dumb shit.
They're in the closet with you right now.
And he has a lot. Now that you're going to bring that up, I'm going to put you on blast because didn't you just say Kirk Cousins was hot?
Dude, you don't have to bring up every conversation. You don't have to bring up every conversation we have on text message.
Saying,
yes, I will say
you became a Cowboys fan because of Tony Romo's ass, and now you're saying Kirk Cousins is the hottest sexiest man alive in the NFL.
I see Kirk Cousins watching that game, and I thought, "Guy golly, if I was a girl in this
man's golly,
wow, if that wasn't gay,
I'd melt right here." He's a good-looking dude. He's one of the best-looking dudes I've ever seen.
Randy, you boo.
How are you?
Guy golly, if I was a girl.
There's the podcast name.
You are, yes, that is. That's 100% it. Steve's listening. That's 100%
I'm not lying. You guys took a second look at him after I said it. I know you all did.
First of all, I didn't take a second look at him. I never looked at any guy in the NFL that way, buddy. Sorry.
I didn't either until I saw Kirk Cousins.
Must be a Brokeback Mountain Dallas Cowboy Canadian thing.
All right, who wants to break this up and keep talking about Week 18? Whose turn?
Chris, you're up.
I'll go on that, and I'm gonna make Paul proud. I'm going to go with my heart all the way through because it's all I got. It's the last game of the season. But I'm gonna put a little bit of spin on it a little bit. Eagles are playing bad. I did read a bunch of articles like these last couple of days that
fake news.
Dable did not lose the locker room. They love him. They want him there. They love Wink. I think Wink and him will both be back. They're playing for him.
We all love both of them.
Yeah,
trust me. Good. Everybody on this podcast loves both of them.
The very
and
good.
We're going to be very upset if either of them is not there.
And I don't know why Wink said it, but Wink made a comment like earlier or late last year. He said, "This is my dream job. Like other than a head coaching job, this is what I always wanted to be: defensive coordinator for the New York Giants." He don't want to go anywhere. So I want these guys to stay. I want to go out with a bang. We haven't beat the Eagles in a while. It would be a great gift to send you into the playoffs with a loss. I'm gonna go with the Giants. How long has it been, Chris? It's been probably about 5 years. It's been a while, man. Like
that long.
It's been a while. But I'm gonna say we're gonna win this game. And Evan Ingram killed me a couple years ago, dude. He should have caught that ball. That game was over on Thursday Night Football. All you had to do was catch it. But anyway, Giants are going to win the game, so they're going to cover. I think Dallas. I'm going to try and make this quick. I think Dallas will win. I want to say they're cover. I can see it going two different ways, man. I can see them jumping up on them real big, real heavy, go up on them, blow them out, smiling and laughing on the sideline. I can also see it kind of being like last week. I can see it kind of hanging around to the third quarter and then you're pulling away. So I'm gonna take Dallas, and I'm gonna say they're not going to cover. They're going to win the game. You can still win by 10, still win by 11, just not 13.5. Miami and Bills. So you guys do know I love Josh Allen. I do think the Bills are a better team. He's my favorite quarterback in the NFL. I think he's the best quarterback. I think he's the best quarterback. I don't think he's sexy or anything, but he's a damn good quarterback. I think
fine line there.
I've always said, and you guys can go back and watch the tape. Even when you guys were blowing Miami earlier in the year, I said they'll still think Buffalo's better than them. And they're going to win the division this week, and they are going to cover. And I think the Chubb injury, that's the big thing. I mean, the Waddle's going to hurt, but that Chubb injury, man, that's going to hurt them in the playoffs. I said a couple weeks ago they weren't a really great defense, and I was wrong in the second half of the year. They got better when Ramsey got back. Once Ramsey got back in the lineup, they did get better as a defense. But this Chubb injury is going to hurt.
Well, they also hurt them. Xavier Howard is hurt, and actually, you didn't see it. They didn't focus too much at the end because of the score, but Tua got hurt. Tua got bent. Tua got hit. He was sliding. He was sliding, and somebody hit him in the back of the head. And it didn't hit like a concussion-like hit. It was just like more like it pushed his head forward, and he had his helmet off, and they were.
And they're going to take much for that guy. I mean, he has that mush brain anyway from last year? That was bad.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of last year when he went out, and that was awful. But, I'm going to take Buffalo. I think they are the better team. I think they're hot right now. We were talking about the Eagles not being hot in the last quarter. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Buffalo started off a little rough. I think they're going to finish strong. And it's always those teams, man. It's always those teams that go into the playoffs hot. They could be – I wouldn't be surprised if they went all the way to the Super Bowl after winning this game.
So if we beat the Giants, does that consider us a hot team?
No, but you need a win.
You guys don't have Josh Allen on your team. You're not a hot team.
You do need to go out and win this game convincingly. I think that would be good for your morale and good for your team going into the playoffs, and I don't think you're going to do that. I mean – you said it didn't matter much last time, and they didn't celebrate because they always beat the Giants. Dude, you need this game. Like, you need to win this game and go into the playoffs. So that's my picks for the games and the spreads. Going with my heart with everything except for CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb will definitely win the yards. He's going against a pretty bad defense. They have a nice combination going. I think Dallas is going to go out and try to get this game over with quick as possible. I think CeeDee Lamb has a big game. He'll win that. I'm going to go with my man Tyrod. I'm going to say Tyrod will do the QB yards, and I think Barkley will do the rushing TDs.
You're not allowed to say that Tyrod is your man. He is the farthest thing from your man.
He is this week.
It's total team, Chris. So if Tyrod gets one and Saquon gets two, that's three. So
thank you for clarifying.
Team touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, despite what happens, despite who we draft, despite what we decide to do, whatever quarterback's in is my guy. I supported DeVito. I'm going to support Tyrod. I'm going to support Daniel Jones too. They're playing or they're not playing.
I have never seen Tyrod Taylor suck so much as the past 2 weeks.
He was bad. We lost the game. I mean, would we have been in that game if DeVito played? I don't know, but he did enough to keep us in it.
No,
he did enough to keep us in it. But, man, This is the second time this year on a 2-point conversion he had a terrible play that just kind of like lost the game for us, man. It's just that's why he's a backup quarterback. But yeah, that's my picks. That's what I'm going with. Who we got? Is it
Randy?
Is you Randy?
Yeah.
Randy up.
So longest receiving yards. I'm absolutely CeeDee Lamb. He's been a monster. He's going to keep being a monster. Even if he only plays half a game, he's still going to outscore everybody by 100 yards. We're going to talk about the touchdowns. Rushing touchdowns. Is that by team?
Yep.
Total
Okay.
TDs might clarify.
I can't see the Eagles not getting that somehow or another. None of the other teams. Our rush attack is horrendous. The thing that scares me about Dallas in the playoffs is they have probably one of the worst rush attacks in all the playoffs right now. It is terrible. I don't know if it's gonna.
We actually agree on something.
Yeah, it's the
That's
one thing
when you
I
play
would
McCaffrey.
say. Not just McCaffrey. You look at almost every team right now in the playoffs, and they have a pretty decent rush attack. The Cowboys do not. They have it all year. I think it's going to hurt them in the playoffs. I don't. I feel like it could keep them from making a deep playoff run this year.
That's
as far as rushing, it's rushing yards per player, right?
Quarterback rush yards is the last one.
Quarterback rush yards, yeah. Well, Jalen Hurts will have eight rushes for 3 yards. So no, not him, or for 8 yards. Yeah, we'll say Tyrod or Dak. The big question to me is
Tyrod will be running for his life all day, so that's why I went with him.
The big question to me is: are the Washington Redskins or Commanders or the New York Giants playing their starters all game long, or are they not? To me, like, all of this is whatever, but assuming they are going to play their starters, I think that you guys almost beat the Eagles in Philadelphia a couple weeks ago. I think the way the Eagles are playing,
is that where they do? Is that where they play? Philadelphia.
You guys are playing. Yes, you guys are playing in New York. I think that you guys are going to pull out a win if you guys start your starters for that game. As far as the Dallas Commanders game, I actually don't know. I feel like we're going to win, but I don't. I think it's going to be a lot closer of a game. I don't know. I just feel like Dallas isn't at home. They're a little uncomfortable. I feel like they're going to be trying to protect their players. And Gregg wanted to borrow my hat because they're going to be 38-0. I might let him borrow it. I feel like it might be I don't think it's going to be a close game, but I don't think the Cowboys are going to be blowing them out.
That's what depends, man. I mean, it depends. Like I could see them going out and trying to blow them out and get it over with. But you're right; they haven't been playing well on the road. But Washington's defense is just bad since they made them trades. Like they've just been bad.
It is. I feel like Dallas is.
And you got one of the top offenses in the league.
I feel like if Dallas sees the Eagles losing, for instance, they may pull starters, or I don't know. I just don't feel confident that Dallas.
What time are the games?
Both games are at 4:30.
That's what I thought. Yeah, they ain't going to be able to watch.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't feel real confident about blowing the Commanders out, though.
I think at the end of the year, you guys, you and Chris need to get one of those jerseys that's half one, half the other. And so you got DJ and Dak on either side. So each of you have a half of each other's hearts. Like how the girls had the two little broken heart necklaces. You guys need to get your own DJ.
I don't want to hear it, you flipping closet Eagles fan. The one other thing, Miami.
He has Giants jerseys in his closet.
The other thing is the Miami game. I absolutely feel like Miami has been explosive all year. I never believe in Buffalo ever. And I feel like Miami is going to blow their doors off again.
Again, they didn't beat them the first time.
Another big.
Hey, now you got me supporting the Bills like it is my team. Come on, man. The Bills are better than them.
If you see Josh Allen and
Josh Allen's better than Tua
and a greased up no shirt body, you'd probably be all over it. But all that being said,
before we get there again, why don't we go through and decide who everybody thinks is going to win the competition at the end of the year based on these last picks?
Me, of course.
I went with my heart, so if my picks win, it would be me. But I got to get two.
One pick for each of you. What do you? So it's going to come down to Paul and Randy. What do you guys think is going to happen?
Well, I need 3, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Screw the Eagles. I'm going Topher.
You can root for yourself. You can say I'm going to sweep.
We could have a 3-way.
We've talked about this, Mike. I'm a realist.
Fair enough. Nostradamus is a realist.
So, Paul, looking
Paul?
at that, who do you think honestly is going to win? Who do you think is going to win out of the Giants and the Eagles in the wheel competition?
The Eagles, because of Jalen Hurts, actually, because kind of like mostly because of default, because of some of the injuries. I think some of those yeah, sure. I did have Eagles jerseys. I sold them.
Yeah. Well,
I see they're 80% off right now too. I seen that on something today before I got on here. Yeah.
I think Randy's
still
got a
making
real
the
chance
playoffs.
if he can sneak rush touchdowns in there.
Greg.
Going to be a tough one
One
with
can
the
only
way
hope.
exactly what you were saying. It's been
Listen.
an uphill sled for their rushing attack, but
I'd rather be 11-5 than 5-11.
Yeah. Except
No,
yeah, I mean, I
except
agree. I'd rather be winning and rather be in the playoffs too. So yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Can't argue that.
Wow, that was
all
pretty
right.
easy.
Well, all this agreement. Let's wrap up this episode. I think we got a lot to look forward to next week, though. We got a division on the line here in Week 18. We got an internal competition on the line here in Week 18.
Awesome.
So we'll see how things go this week. We'll be back to recap it next week, and we'll be starting to look forward to the playoffs.
Playoffs.
Don't
Be
forget to
back
hit.
soon.
By
Don't forget
golly,
to
I
hit
can't
like.
wait.
Don't forget to hit like and submit to our podcast. Follow us.
Subscribe, damn it.
Thanks,
Subscribe.
everybody.
Subscribe.
See you
English
next week.
teachers.
Got it.